What's up, YouTube? So by the time you see this video, it's already a while since the Mexico Grand Prix. And yes, this is complete analysis of the race, but first I want to share something. See those trees behind me? That is, well, behind those trees is exactly where the Grand Prix happened. I live just 3 blocks away from where the action took place. And that's a bit of a luxury that I'm a little proud of. I feel like it's a kind of any Formula fans win. I feel like it's a bit of a dream of any Formula 1 fan. Because, well, first off, there's a reason that I always say that I don't care about other classifications, because at the end I'm gonna see the results in the starting grid. And you know why I don't care? Because I can hear them. I might be doing the laundry, doing the dishes, or taking my headphones off while I'm in the computer, and I hear, because it's right next to me. And in fact, that train that is passing right now, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I can see it. I'm pointing the camera at it. I'm not sure if you can see it. That is a train that I use every day to commute to school. Also, the place where Lewis Hamilton had that incident where he popped a tire is over in that direction. Baby, you light up my way. And the pit lane are over in that direction. So, not only that, but also the Foro Sol, where a few concerts are being held from time to time. I remember a Justin Bieber concert, the LA part of the decade of the 2010s, and I used to live at that time in the north of the country, and yes, I did have Bieber fever. I was here for summer vacation, and the concert had already started, and I decided to just walk outside to the balcony and just listen at distance, and I could hear the concert faintly. I think it was the song Pray that was playing at that moment. And yes, I know what you're gonna say. It's not the same being here at the balcony and hearing at a distance, or hearing at the distance the engines of the Formula 1 cars, just listening how compared to being over there and seeing the action. But think about how much it took for the people who were there to, be there in the first place. They presumably paid a lot of money and traveled for, well, a long distance. Well, the day before the actual race, the day of the classification on Saturday, I encountered two black guys who came from presumably the US, and I struck a conversation with them. Turns out they were coming to support Lewis Hamilton. And you know what? I saw exactly the entire mess of traffic and all the cops overseeing the security of the area, because there was going to be a big event. And you know what I was doing? I was commuting back home after going downtown to buy a few resistors for homework, because I have the great luck of living right next to the speedway. In fact, before the race, there was this helicopter who was flying over the stadium and over the speedway, and had the Mexican flag sticking. And as soon as I couldn't find any footage of it from TV, but that's actually a good thing, because I don't need to use any copyrighted footage. I took this footage as As soon as I saw the helicopter on the TV screen, I just ran out into the balcony. And there were also some planes flying in the opposite direction almost at the same time. And I took a selfie that, well, you might be able to see it. It's there's a flag in the distance. It's small, but it's there. How cool is that? And, well, you may need some refreshment of the rules of Formula 1, but... And yes, this analysis might be a little biased, because I kind of have a thing for Lewis Hamilton. I admit it, I love Lewis Hamilton because of course I do. But anyway, let's start the analysis.
So here's our stage for the beginning of the race. Here's the Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez. And well, here's a little bit of an explanation on the track. Now that we see the map of the track, we see that it has 3 sections, as racing circuits usually have. The speed trap is where speed is tested, where usually speed is estimated to be the highest. And you're gonna see one thing called a DRS, that's the drag reduction system, used usually to increase speed, compromising drag. Here's the initial grid: Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen in first and second place. Next in third place is Lewis Hamilton and his teammate Valtteri Bottas. For some reason, both Mercedes got right next to each other. Kimi Raikkonen would do a very good fight during the race, you'll see. Esteban Ocon, which is a teammate of our national hero in this race. Nico Hülkenberg and Carlos Sainz. Carlos, he's Spaniard, I don't know why I pronounce it like this. 7 and 8. Sergio Perez, our local hero, as you can see, he's Mexican. Felipe Massa, Brasileiro. And, well, Lance Stroll, who also was a bit of trouble. Marcus Ericsson, Swedish. Doesn't look that bad. In 13 we have Pascal Wehrlein, and in 14 Kevin Magnussen. I kind of like the name of that team, Haas. I don't know why it sounds funny, but Haas. Also from Haas you get Romain Grosjean and Daniel Ricciardo in number 16. And during the race you're gonna see why I have no problem calling him a potato-headed minger. Brandon Hartley, also another potato-headed minger. For Toro Rosso, Fernando Alonso for McLaren in number 18. And from that potato-headed minger of Ricciardo onward, they have place penalties because they changed the engine when they wasn't time. The last was Stoffel Vandron and Pierre Gasly. That skull you see over there is because the race happened just before the Mexican Day of the Dead. What you see here is the tire compound selection. The tire, well, it's a little difficult to explain, but basically it's ultra soft, super soft, soft, medium and hard. The softer the tire, the more grip, but also the shorter life, so you need a kind of a strategy for that. Now the first lap is a bit of an actionless lap where you just warm up the tires and get back to the original position, so we're just gonna speed it up and skip it, shall we? Everybody back in their position, well and good. The start is going to be given by 5 lights being turned on in sequence and then turned back off altogether right now. The beginning of the race happens as usual. Here's Mexico Grand Prix starting, and as you can see in the third curve, Lewis Hamilton has a bit of an interaction with Vettel and Verstappen, in which basically Hamilton has a bit of a touch with Vettel and pops a tire. You see it right there. In my opinion, both races messed up because Hamilton was essentially trying to force himself into the lane while Vettel refused to let him pass. What a coincidence that they are behaving in Mexico like every single Mexican. And I'm telling this essentially to you, Americans who think that Mexico is nothing like you. Trust me, the traffic in LA or London is nothing compared to Mexico City. Here you see Sebastian Vettel changing the front wing because he damaged it during the crash. And because Hamilton popped a tire, obviously he has to go to the pits to replace it, and he's also going to replace all 4 tires in order to change from one compound to another. From ultra soft to soft, which is yellow, making it a little harder than purple, which means that the tire is going to last longer, but it's gonna give less grip. It's kind of a compromise. The car isn't allowed to accelerate until it's past that white line over there. Now it's accelerating, and bye-bye it goes. It's in last place by the time it reaches lap 3. He's like more than 30 seconds behind and not being able to recover anytime soon. And we'll see now the slow motion footage of the crash. You see how Hamilton is trying to get through, but Vettel and Verstappen have a slight touch over there, and that slows both of them down. Hamilton takes the lead, and you're gonna see that Vettel is going to slightly hop on a rail that's outside of that's in the inside of the curve, and that's going to make him lose control a little bit, and therefore he won't be able to prevent the crash with Hamilton. All 3 cars had a bit of a perspective on that was shown on camera, but I think Vettel has by far the best. This is the slow motion footage of Vettel coming into the curve, and you see that he's having to turn, and Verstappen basically pushes him a little bit, so it's slowing both of them down, and they touched. But as you can see, he lost control of the car a little bit after touching the curb, so I think that the fact that people still believe that Vettel did it on purpose is enough of a proof to say that Hill and Pace were right to say that. Bollocks. Bollocks. And in the meantime, here's Daniel Ricciardo entering into the pits. And you might wonder, what is he doing in the pits right now? He doesn't have a popped tire, he looks fine. He looks perfectly okay. Turns out at lap 6, he is pulling out of the race because his bollocks are itchy. Verstappen has just beat a lap time record in 1 minute 21.299, and obviously Hamilton hasn't had the time, for obvious reasons, to see the footage that we just went through, so he's still unsure about the circumstances of the incident. So he's kind of questioning, for obvious reasons, the circumstances, and here is what he's got to say.
Did he hit me deliberately? What? Not sure, Lewis.
Now that is some class that I do not have. Like, seriously, if I were Hamilton at this point, I would be like, hey, am I entitled to an after-race meal after this? Because after all this shenanigans, I would like Vettel's cock roasted on a stick.
Agropolis, adieu, adieu,
At this point, the two guys from Force India are trying to do their best not to get overtaken by the guys behind them in the case of Ocon, it's Nico Hülkenberg, and Perez is having to fight against Raikkonen. It's getting a little difficult, but they don't want to let them pass for obvious reasons. And for the same thing, here you got a replay of Fernando Alonso having a very controversial move with Romain Grosjean. They can't really control at that speed, and it's a little wide, so they have to touch right there. There it is. I'm really sorry, but you're gonna have to go to boxes. Raikkonen here is still trying to pass Perez, but Perez is a little faster, at least for now. And yeah, he's doing his best, and Perez is going to keep 5th place for a while. And as far as passes go, here's a very controversial one, as Felipe Massa tries not to get overtaken by Vettel and tries to push him off the track. What a coincidence that they come to Mexico and drive like your average Joe. You see why I take public transport. Like, seriously, if you come to Mexico, you really should take public transport. It is a mess. And as Vettel states by radio,
I mean, seriously, are we developing auto scooter here? Sort of. It's fun to push the other guy off the track. I had my nose ahead. Sanders, stay focused. Sanders, stay focused. Please. I am focused, don't worry.
there you see that Germans are a lot more direct than British people. Here we see a replay of that little incident. Right there. Massa is trying to push Vettel off the track, and Vettel is obviously better, more skilled than Massa, so he manages to pass. Here's from Vettel's perspective. You see him trying to force himself into the lane where Massa is, but Massa refuses to let him pass, pretty much pushing him out of the track, which, yeah, it's very typical of Mexico City traffic. But as far as this incident goes, I think it's entirely Massa's fault. You see him, he's basically trying to cut him off. And those are my comrades right there. Yay for Lewis Hamilton! It should be obvious, pretty much, that taking a shortcut in the middle of a race is illegal. Romain Grosjean did exactly that and now has to sit in boxes for 5 seconds doing nothing. Oh my god, Romain Grosjean, you are such a pillock. And to add more embarrassment, here you see him after he made his penalty, that he is going to be overpassed by Vettel using the DRS. Yep, that's an embarrassment right there. Fist up in the air for solidarity for the victims of the earthquake of the 19th of September. It started up as a kind of signal of everyone silence because we're trying to rescue someone and we have to listen for any signs of life. Hamilton, in the meantime, is still trying to get past those guys as he's still in 19th place. Kind of annoying.
Just to get past these guys is difficult.
Because of course it is. It is a race, not a parade. The first driver that he has to go past is Carlos Sainz, which he has been unable to in the meantime. He will get past eventually. A little bit of patience, please, a little bit of patience. He will get past, but it will take a lot of frustrating time for him to do that.
México lindo y querido, si lejos de ti.
Frustratingly, here's Hamilton trying to pass Carlos Sainz, and you see that in the main straight, Hamilton is actually faster than Sainz, but he is still unable to reach him. But yeah, trying to fight for this position is obviously very annoying for someone like Hamilton, and well, that's what he says on the radio right now.
It's crazy to be fighting for this position. These smarters let me go and follow me.
And even more embarrassing, he's about to get lapped by Max Verstappen, which just got him a blue flag of "let him pass, he's faster than you." Oops, right there you see Max Verstappen passing Lewis Hamilton after one lap. And right there you can probably guess why it's so frustrating for Hamilton in this position. He can't get close to a car.
I can't get close to a car.
And that right there has been the worst joke in the history of my channel. And to make it even more shameful, here's Valtteri Bottas passing his teammate Lewis Hamilton by an entire lap. But don't worry lads, Lewis Hamilton is not the only one having shame here. Nico Hülkenberg has just had a loss of power and, well, is being indicated through the radio that he has to pull out of the race, which is any driver's worst nightmare.
Stop the car, please, Nico. Stop the car. The car is not safe, Nico. The car is not safe. You need to get out by climbing onto the front of the car and jumping off.
Lewis Hamilton is still having a little bit of problems. You see he's still in last place, but look at the chart of places. You see that Lewis Hamilton is about to overtake Carlos Sainz just about, and there you have it. In fact, let's see the replay of the overtake, shall we? It happened in the main straight. You see right now the slow motion footage of the replay. You see Hamilton getting to his side and putting his gas pedal to the floor. And there you have it. After a shameful bunch of laps, he has finally gotten into 17th place. And there's a lot more to come for Lewis Hamilton from now on. Now the next problem for Hamilton is the bunch of cars that are lapping him and therefore trying to attack him. Requires aggressive driving. Defending himself from the guys behind doesn't feel like the tire's gonna last.
Behind doesn't feel like the tire's gonna last.
That's not a concern for us, Lewis. We do have alternative plans.
Well, I hope you do, because yeah, it can be a problem. The one who really needs alternative plans is Sebastian Vettel, who has to overtake Fernando Alonso if he has to go anywhere. Which is a bit of a mess and a shame for Sebastian Vettel, because, you know, it's a race, not a parade. It's not like it's that easy. And here we see Pascal Wehrlein having to fight against Lewis Hamilton, while Max Verstappen is having a few problems with his tires due to overheating. Now, it's a little complicated, but I'll explain later, but here's what he says.
Tire all good, I can see some blistering.
Yeah, temperatures are dropping a little bit at the moment, Max, but nothing else suggests we've got any concerns at all.
Are you sure that it's not a concern? Because blistering is part of a tire that overheat and detach, which is a problem. It's a huge problem. It's actually what tires are supposed to prevent, blistering. That's why they have a chemical treatment. But yeah, if you say that it's not a concern for you, it's up to you. But here's Lewis Hamilton passing Pascal Wehrlein and getting up to place 16 finally. And a few moments later, Checo Perez is overtaking Magnussen. He is our local hero and we are proud of him. It is a very important and basic concept that part of the strategy of any race is the selection of the tires. Here you see which tires each driver is having at the moment, but therefore what strategy they have. Brendan Hartley has set his own arse on fire. This is a massive cock.
That will take a lot of power. Stop the car, Brendan. Stop
Don't
the
go under
car in the
amarilla.
same place. Stop the car.
So box, box, box. We've got a VSC,
Ahí está.
VSC. Keep the delta positive.
VSC here means virtual safety car, aka speed limit of 80 kilometers 50 miles per hour and no overtaking allowed. Meaning it's strategically the same to remain on the track than to go to boxes, and therefore almost everybody is going to boxes in order to change tires and stuff. The virtual safety car is obviously temporary while they sort out the problem of Brendan Hartley in the track. Here you see Sebastian Vettel doing the same, and look at how fast the tires are changed. The virtual safety car will end right about now. At this point, the only thing that can make Hamilton a world champion, and spoiler alert, that's exactly what's going to happen, is if Valtteri Bottas, his teammate, ends up in the top 3. Therefore giving the Mercedes team enough points in the season to crown Lewis Hamilton as champion of the world. All 3 races that have pulled out of the race have Renault engines and have pulled out because of engine failure. And Max Verstappen also has a Renault engine. Good luck with that, but finally, with Brendan Hartley out of the race, it means that we can sing for the 3rd time our favorite song of comedy, Acropolis Adieu.
Acropolis, adieu,
And in the meantime, while Hamilton is doing his thing, Ricciardo has to explain to his engineer his turbo failure.
Even though 2 of them are more popular, which is the T-turbo and 3-turbo, there's also the 3-turbo pygmy swap, which is on a small...
Needless to say, he's not too happy about that, but here's Hamilton overtaking Romain Grosjean with the DRS right there. There's still a lot of work to do, he's in 15th place. But Mexican fans supporting Checo Perez, the local hero, because of course they do. Magnussen is being attacked by Vettel, and he's going to go for an overtake in the main straight right about now. He's using the DRS. This is the only part of the track where you can easily overtake. He's overtaken and Vettel is now in 7th place. And Hamilton is now having to attack Pascal Wehrlein. Then again, this is the only part of the track where you can really do an overtake easily. But there's still a lot of work to do. He's in 14th place, and now he has to discuss the strategy of the tires, which turns out to be a little difficult when your team is, let's say, not too responsive. You'll be the judges, but here's what he says on the radio.
So mix the cars on Super and Ultra.
The Ultra's gonna make it all the way. Bono, when I ask a question, please give me the reply.
Copy, Lewis. So yeah, most people have already done half a race distance on that Ultra Soft. So it's likely with a lighter fuel, they'll probably be able to make it to the end.
Seriously, give the reply if he asks something. If you're the pit crew of a world-class champion, don't be a cunt. But in the meantime, let's just admire how Max Verstappen takes the corners, shall we? Is genuinely impressive. Max Verstappen is dominating the race absolutely, although you probably wouldn't tell by looking at his dad's face. Max Verstappen's dad, Jos Verstappen, is in the pits, looking like an unimpressed dad. Yeah, what a way to support his son. Hamilton chasing Pierre Gasly right there. And of course, as I'm telling you, Max Verstappen doesn't really need to do much, so all he really has to do is match lap times with Valtteri Bottas, which is exactly what he is going to be told.
Okay, Max. So we're just going to want to cover Bottas's lap times at this stage.
Alright, son, I'll take it easy.
Take it easy? Take it easy? I don't think so. He is dominating and he is just not going to stop. This is 40 seconds later.
Okay, so that was the same lap time as the previous lap, Max.
I'm really sorry.
And as for Lewis Hamilton, he's still trying to chase Gasly, which is turning out to be a very difficult task. It's going to be until next lap until he's going to be able to do it. Mexico City makes overtaking very, very difficult, which is why it's taking Hamilton so long, but you know, you eventually see him do it. It's going to be doing it in this straight right now. The most Sebastian Vettel can do at this point is reach for 4th place, which is not enough to make him even hope for a world championship. At this point, given that Bottas will remain there, Vettel is, well, doomed, and Hamilton is pretty much guaranteed to be world champion. You see him just going alone. And Ericsson and Hamilton are having a battle for 12th place. Once again, he has been unable to pass, even though he's right behind him, because Mexico is a very difficult circuit for overtaking. You see right there what tires everyone is using. Vettel is pretty much hopeless as a world champion, but you see, he just has to keep his rhythm as he is going to be told.
Very good pace, keep pushing like this, hang in there.
Good way to be comforting, but you see Hamilton right there, passing Ericsson in the corner right there. Not that it's going to be easy by any means to continue on to, spoiler alert, about 9th place that he's going to wind up in. Esteban Ocon, faster than Raikkonen, but not quite being able to reach him because he's already a bit too far away. Sergio Perez also not in a very good position because, yeah, he's just right behind Vettel, which is, you know, much more skilled than him and has a better car. But it is kind of the battle. For Hamilton, the forecast is 8th place at most if he can keep up this pace.
So we are forecast for P8. P8, we can keep up this pace.
Keep up this pace? Yes. Get all the way up to Kevin Magnussen? I really do not think so. Magnussen is 21 seconds ahead, so no, he's not going to be able to reach him. But in any case, let's just see the race, shall we? The top speed of the speed trap at the end of the main straight is now shown. Vettel is the fastest at 362 kilometers per hour, which is 225 miles per hour. One details, pause. And now Vettel is chasing Checo Perez, which means that he's going to end up overtaking him at the end of the second DRS zone, which is bad news for the local hero and for his dad in the pit lane. Checo Perez doesn't quite feel like he's got enough grip, so he's going to change from yellow tires to purple tires. That's the ultra soft for the rest of the race probably. And next thing we have to pass through is Hamilton chasing Stoffel Van Dorn. And it's not gonna be so interesting to me to talk all the way through it, so I'm just going to leave it right there and show the chasing scene as it goes. He's done it and he's in 11th place. And Vettel will now demonstrate what happens when you take a corner wrongly. And Vettel needs to go chase Lance Stroll now. Let's see. He's now 5th and ongoing, but will he actually beat Hamilton and become world champion? Let's see.
What position do I need?
So Vettel is currently P5. He needs at least P2.
Is that possible for him?
Negative, negative. Valtteri now sat in P2, holding that spot.
Yeah, nope, nopey, nope. He's not gonna be world champion now. Sorry, Vettel, but you are fucked. Sorry.
Oh no.
Hamilton, meanwhile, passing Felipe Massa and getting up to P10, which is great. He still has to go a little farther, but don't worry, whatever you do, you're not going to lose your championship. Marcus Ericsson, however, is a whole different story. The backside of his car has set on fire. As the great James May would say, oh cock. Or rather, what's the Swedish for oh cock? Thank you, Ericsson, for your great participation on this race. Try again next year. To those of you wondering, oh cock in Swedish is förbövelen. And here's Pierre Gasly with his amazing view of Ericsson's fire. What do you say, lads?
Agropolis, adieu,
What position am I?
So you're currently in P10. So we've got P8 on the cards for us, definitely.
Does he? Although, who doesn't get lost after so many overtakings? In the meantime, Vettel is behind Kimi Raikkonen, but will he be able to reach him? Will he?
Give me 23 seconds in front.
How many seconds you said?
23.
Mamma mia. It's a little bit too much.
Yeah, no, nope.
In the meantime, Hamilton is fighting for 8th place with Magnussen and Alonso.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Sebastian Vettel at this stage is pretty much hopeless. He is, well, pretty much lost. He is not going to be able to do much. Spoiler alert, he's going to remain the rest of the race in P4. And while Hamilton remains in his fight for 8th place, where the bloody hell is Carlos Sainz? Have anyone seen him anywhere? Because I really haven't. Oh yeah, there he is. He's the last competitor to pull out of the race, and all 5 that have pulled out have done so because of engine failure. Meanwhile, Hamilton pondering whether or not Vettel will be able to catch up to Raikkonen.
So there's a big gap between them, a Raikkonen P3, a Vettel now a P4.
The short answer is no, and Lewis Hamilton will be winning the championship while lapped, which hasn't happened since 1976 when James Hunt won the World Championship on out of 16 races in the season. He was disqualified from 1 and retired from 5, and somehow still got 1 point ahead of Niki Lauda, the favorite driver of the time and now director of the team where Hamilton is in. This is the chart of which drivers have had the most World Championships. And therefore, if Hamilton wants to be the most successful driver of all time, he still has to win the World Championship several times in a row, all the way up in a string, all the way up to 2021. He would then be ahead of Michael Schumacher, who got the championship 7 times in 94, 95 and 5 in a row from 2000 to 2004. But still, 4 championships will be enough to crown Hamilton as the most successful driver in British history. We're at lap 65, 6 laps to go, and Hamilton is still fighting for P8 with Alonso and Magnussen. There is a vote on what's called Driver of the Day. It's not announced during the race or after the race, it's announced on the internet, and the voting is entirely on first past the post, and in this case the winner was Sebastian Vettel, spoiler alert, presumably because of his recovery from his crash with Hamilton, although I almost entirely blame Vettel for the crash, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm not gonna bash you for it if you disagree for some reason. 5 laps to go, almost everything is done, but the opera isn't over until the fat lady sings. And Hamilton did a bit of a fail attempt to overtake Alonso, which doesn't mean by any means that the battle is over. In fact, right there you're gonna see that he's going to fail again to do it on the end of the first DRS zone, but he will finally do it on the end of the second DRS zone, which is great news for them, although it's true that Alonso does have his doubts about the legality of the issue, although the entire maneuver was entirely legal.
What do you think? He went off the track on the overtaking, or he was okay?
It was good racing, but fair racing.
Of course it is. It's not illegal just because it's unfavorable to you. It's just what he has to do, overtake you so he can get his points, and no offense Alonso, but Hamilton is actually more scale than you. Sebastian Vettel in P4 and all drivers are now in the position in which they're going to end the race. And Vettel finishes off by breaking the lap record at 1 minute and 18 seconds. Meanwhile, we see Max Verstappen, who has pretty much dominated the entire race. In fact, he has been almost unbeatable when it comes to this race, and here we see him doing his last efforts as he comes out to the baseball stadium for one last time, and he's about to go cross the finish line. It is a win for the Red Bull team. Lewis Hamilton, 4th times world champion. He's the most successful driver in British history. And of course, that comes with the congratulations of everyone, including the Mercedes Petronas team, and that means the two chairmen of Mercedes, Niki Lauda and Toto Wolff, who are watching Hamilton from the boxes. There we go!
Get in there, Lewis! Champion of the world!
Lewis is Toto. Not the race we wanted, but who cares? Congratulations, 4-time world champions. Niki Lewis, thank you. 4-time, thank you.
Hamilton has been perhaps the driver who has fought the hardest in this season. But of course, it is a team. It's all teamwork. And as expected, the Mercedes Petronas team will take their own part on the credit of Hamilton's victory now.
Thanks to everyone in this team. What you've done the past couple of years is just remarkable, and I'm just so grateful for your hard work this year. God bless you.
And no congratulations would be complete without a compliment for a great friend. And you might not expect Lewis Hamilton from having a specific friend. Prepare to have your mind blown.
Hey Lewis, it's Neymar. I'm happy for you, bro. For World Championship. Winner!
You heard it right, it's Neymar, the football player. And of course waving the Union Jack with pride after 4 World Championships. This is amazing. But of course, it has a very special message for the country that hosted the race this time.
Viva Mexico!
And as is traditional in this kind of sporting events, he's going to thank his family and friends and the team and the queen and yada 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 yada, as it is traditional on sporting events of this kind. Here comes the podium, and P3 and P2 were both being awarded to Finns. In this case, P3 was won by Kimi Raikkonen, and P2 was won by Valtteri Bottas, who is Lewis Hamilton's teammate. But obviously, it would be terribly disrespectful to not acknowledge the one who dominated the race absolutely. From start to finish, P1 is Max Verstappen, Red Bull team. He was born in Belgium in the 30th of September 1997, but he has chosen to be Dutch because his dad is from the Netherlands. This is his second and last podium in the season for a total of 11 podiums throughout his career so far. And congratulations, Max Verstappen, for your victory in Mexico. And now this channel awards its very own titles to the drivers, its very own awards. And the first award to be given is the fairest of them all, the sexiest of all drivers is Esteban Ocon. Now, ugliest of them all, the least handsome driver of all, Max Verstappen. The most embarrassing performance of them all is to Daniel Ricciardo.
You're disgusting. You actually make me sick.
And last but not least, the driver with the funniest name, Pierre Gasly. Oh, thank you all for watching this video. It took me 2 months to make, so hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time with another video. And of course we cannot leave without saying a few things. First off, congratulations Hamilton on your 4th World Championship. And here's the songs I used for this video.
lejos de ti.